What happened when Black filmmakers stop asking for permission and start building worlds? Welcome to Cinema Versus. This isn't where we just compare movies, we compare legacies. And today's mashup isn't just about box office numbers, it's not just about awards, it's about impact. It's about how two directors reshaped modern Black cinema in completely different ways. And unexpectedly too, because where did they come from? This is Ryan Coogler versus Jordan Peele. What's up, what's gooding, and what's poppin'? And welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time being here, first of all, hey, Professor Ogilvy! Hello, my name is Top Cat. I am your YouTube personality, your reactionary goddess, and now your cinema griot. And welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time being here, thank you so much for being here, because you could have been anywhere on Beyonce's good internet, but you were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So if you could just do me a favor, if you like what you see upon your black screen, your black mirror, if you could just hit that subscribe button, enjoy the family, because baby, we are obviously friends now.
We're friends now.
Let's get into today's video. So obviously right now, Mr. Coogler is making his rounds, making cinematic history at the Oscars with the most Oscar nominations for Sinners. Clap it up for. Which is saying a lot, because Sinners having 16 Oscar nominations, let alone holding Oscar buzz since April. No more movies trying to make its rounds with the Oscar and the Academy. It's gonna be coming out around October, November, right? When movies come out around October, November, it's trying to, warm up to the Academy. But the fact that it's been holding on strong since April says a lot. There was another Black man that we thought was going to make history by being the first ever Black person to win Best Director not that long ago. And it was one Mr. Jordan Peele with another horror movie classic, and that was with Get Out. So I thought, why not compare the two and see what is it about these two directors that make us go, this is the one, man. This right here, this is the one. So I have 5 different categories for us to compare these two, and we're just going to talk about what makes these two greats. Now, this is kind of like what Swiss Beats and Timbaland does with the verses, but this time, instead of doing it musically, we're going to look at the filmographies. So first, we're going to talk about the debuts of these two auteurs. Category 1, the entry point. Ryan Coogler enters the cinema through truth. His first debut film was Fruitvale Station, and it wasn't just a movie. It was the retelling of Oscar Grant and his final hours here on Earth. It was a reckoning. From the very beginning, Ryan Coogler's lens was grounded. It was human and political without abstraction. He asks one central question: what does power do to Black bodies? And what does love do in response? This is very grounded. You could tell by the way that Ryan lets silence sit, the way he lingers in on faces. It's very striking the way that he uses his lens and lets the writing do the work, not just in the dialogue, but also in the action. Whereas Jordan Peele debuts with Get Out. Where were you when you first saw that Jordan Peele of Key and Peele, of Mad TV fame, was writing a movie and thought, man, this is going to be something funny? It was shocked as all get out, no pun intended, to find out that not only was this a horror movie, but it was good. Peele didn't just tell the story, he weaved a whole bunch of hidden subtext within the movie. His works ask, what if the real monster is the system smiling in your face? because this movie made us think, are we really in a post-racial America like we think we are? What if all the white liberals thinking that they're saying the right things, tripping all over themselves to try to make black people comfortable, has something sinister underneath it all along, and the racial tension is still there? Shout out to RuPaul. I mean, the think pieces, the amount of Tumblr blogs and tweets upon tweets upon tweets upon tweets that we have spent for months, years thinking about this movie came out of nowhere. It was a splash. Coogler starts from lived reality. He decided to portray something that happened in real life, and he expands outward. Peele takes his lived life and turns it into a metaphor and drills inward, both making major waves in Hollywood. Round 2. The filmography. After we have our debut, the second bodies of work has to make just as big of an impact, or else you might be a floptina. So after Ryan Coogler did Fruitvale Station, intimate, devastating, unflinching, Ryan Coogler did something that was like left field and took a big risk. He decided to go into the world of Rocky and make a spin-off movie. Oh, let's take a beloved side character, give him a love child, and then follow that love child. Okay. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna use the same actor from the first movie. Recipe for disaster. And yet, it was thoughtful. It was challenging. It was a smash. It revitalized Sylvester Stallone's career because he was at a lull at that point. It was a story about legacy, masculinity, and inheritance. And yet it was good. It was good. And then somehow Creed had 2 other sequels of its own. Your third movie out, you was working on a movie from Marvel, which was on an upswing at that point. And we're talking about Marvel at its peak. Marvel that was doing banger after banger after banger after banger. And you was one of the few movies to cross over $1 billion. Third movie out, $1 billion in the box office worldwide. We're talking about Black Panther, Afrofuturism, and you still got your boy from the first 2 movies to play not only the freaking villain, but a sympathetic villain at that. You had people saying Killmonger was right. First superhero movie to be nominated for Best Motion Picture at the Oscars. We had Afrofuturism coming into play. We had, again, subcontext, think pieces, tweets after tweets after tweets. You have Wakanda Forever. Due to a series of unfortunate events, like a world pandemic, your lead star passing away due to cancer. Fuck cancer. You had to pivot and you still do gangbusters in the box office. A film that talks about grief, and it's another epic narrative. And now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you're nominated for Best Director, even though you should have been nominated for Best Director when your movie was nominated for Best Motion Picture. But we won't talk about that. The Academy be having it wrong sometimes. But now you're nominated. Your screenplay, your original screenplay, is nominated again, and your boy that's been in every one of your freaking movies, because at this point, he is the Andre 3000 to your big boy, your Aquarius to your Gemini, so now you're both Aquemini. You're both nominated for Oscars, and everybody wants you to build the world off of the one movie that you thought was going to be a one-off. And in 25 years, you get to own the rights to the movie that had bank. Sinners! That is the filmography of Mr. Ryan Coogler. Now let's talk about Mr. Jordan Peele. If you thought Ryan Coogler is Thanos, Jordan Peele is like Magneto. He is just as impressive. Jordan Peele might only have 3 official films under his name as of right now, and a 4th one pending that he keeps pushing back. Jordan Peele, after he came out with Get Out, again, a movie about liberal racism as horror, he then came out with Us, another movie that had a bunch of subtextual horror talking about the tethered. It turned I Got 5 on It into a horror anthem. Now I don't know if I'm about to listen to the smoking anthem or if I'm about to get stabbed up by some shears. You got Lupita Nyong'o, fine Mr. Fine Winston Duke. So M'Baku from Black Panther, in this movie, he became the father of elevated horror at this point. 2 movies in, father of elevated horror. And then you had people wondering, am I tethered? After that, you had Nope. Nope was about spectacle, exploitation, and what happens if someone else controls the gaze. Who controls the gaze? Miss Kiki, it's your girl Palmer. People were clamoring for her to get an Oscar nomination because she acted her ass off in this movie. Daniel Kaluuya, who was in Get Out, came back on the block again to work with Jordan Peele one more time. Keith David had an impactful role, and he was only in the movie for what, 5 minutes? Now we got people staring at clouds like, is this cloud real? Or is that jean jacket? If you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. All of these were just really high concepts, but again, all had to deal with things underneath the surface. So if you just watched it for what was on the screen, you were still entertained. But if you dug deeper, there was a whole nother movie underneath. After that, Jordan Peele brought back the Twilight Zone. So he was the executive producer of the Twilight Zone. He was the Jordan Peele became so synonymous with, or is it unanimous? Somebody will correct me. With horror, modern horror, elevated horror. If you put his name on a movie poster and pushed it just enough to think that he was the director and the writer, it would push people to the theaters. How do we know? Because we all thought that Him was a Jordan Peele movie and it was produced by Jordan Peele. You make it look freaky and weird enough and people will go to the movies. And mind you, Get Out came out 9 years ago. Fruitvale Station came out 13 years ago. The amount of respect and notoriety that both men have and Oscar nominations that both men have built and won off of 9 and 13 years is amazing. Which brings me to category 3, directorial voice. As I have already mentioned, Ryan Coogler lingers on faces. He lets the camera speak. He lets silence speak for itself. And the way that he incorporates music, right? The soundtrack is just as important. It's a character within the movie. The Black Panther soundtrack, both the score and the actual soundtrack itself, both play a vital role in the movie. Part of that, I believe, is because of his work with Ludwig Göransson. If you don't know who Ludwig Göransson is, you do. You just might not know who he is by name. He's worked with Ludwig since, he might have been working with Ludwig since college. Like, Ryan Coogler knows his people, has his people, and is very loyal to his people. Because if it ain't broken, why fix it? Why change it? He's worked with Ruth E. Carter since Black Panther, Sinners. If it ain't broken, why fix it? It's the continuity for me. His camera centers in community because, as I mentioned, he's community based. So he works with the same people. That gives him consistency. Michael B. Jordan is in every single one of his films because he knows that Michael B. Jordan is going to deliver. And he just seems to bring something out of Michael B. Jordan that other people just doesn't seem to bring out of Michael B. Jordan. People used to say Michael B. Jordan can't act, and now people are mad that the Golden Globes chose Timothy Chalamet over Michael B. Jordan. Do you not see the magic that is Ryan Coogler? Moving on. Jordan Peele is about precision blocking, and he uses symbolism a lot. He uses things to represent various different things. One shot can represent 4 or 5 different ideas at once. Genre mechanics is used as a language. One of the most impactful shots of Jordan Peele for me in Get Out, Chris is deciding to go upstairs after fraternizing with all of the guests, and he walks up the stairs, and the moment that he is out of frame, the party stops. Impactful. And you're all wondering, like, what the fuck is going on my screen in my home? What is going on? It's stuff like that that leaves an impact. Having and allowing his actors to make decisions that could, like giving them freedom, right? So, like, allowing Lupita to talk once. Because we just thinks that she's trying to be scary, not realizing she's talking like that because her windpipe is crushed. After it's things like that. The mechanics of language. His camera centers ideas over sentiment. So one directs with his heart over his mind, one directs with his mind more with his heart. One thing that also seems evident to me is they're both freaking nerds, right? You look at Ryan Coogler, you see like this like chill dude from the Bay, the way that he talks. Something about that Bay Area accent is just sexy. You wouldn't look at Ryan Coogler and think, oh, that's a nerd, until you watch him talk about film and IMAX and movies. And then you just hear, nerd! It's cool the way that they break down their art. I find it to be really fascinating. I love that, but I'm also a nerd, so. Round 4, cultural impact. The way that they shifted the culture, wild. Ryan Coogler changed everything. It feels like Ryan Coogler changed everything. He changed how blockbusters handled Black grief. And I'm talking about from Wakanda Forever, Fruitvale Station, even in Sinners. But then he also changed the trajectory of the Black superhero. Because before then, Hollywood didn't take us seriously as box office draws until we came out dressed in our regalia and we really came out like some fucking Comic-Con nerds. Like, I remember seeing on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram, because we didn't have TikTok back then. It wasn't as popular as it is now. But we was coming out there with our drums and like our African attire, really dressed up to go to this Black Panther premiere. We showed up and we showed out because it was about damn time that we really were the leads. He changed how much the studios can trust us as Black young artists because, like I mentioned earlier, the deal that Ryan Coogler made with Warner Brothers, not only was he able to make Sinners, but in 25 years, he gets to own the IP of Sinners. But the fact that it is now 16 movie nominations for one movie. The only movie that could say that beats Sinners is the Lord of the Rings franchise has 30 out of all 3. I watched a video on YouTube that said that Ryan Coogler is at the point where his contemporaries are no longer Black. They're the Christopher Nolans of the world, Tarantinos of the world, the Spielbergs of the world. We need to start putting him in that category. I think after this Oscar run, if they don't snub him, I think they might be right. Jordan Peele has changed who gets to own horror. I swear to you, elevated horror was not a thing until Get Out. Everybody looks to Jordan Peele to be like, what is going to be the new thing in horror? I don't even think I liked horror until Jordan Peele. Like I said, he brought back the Twilight Zone. He brought back the legitimacy of horror. Between him and Ari something, I don't know, this guy. The guy who did like Hereditary, Midsommar, like those two started the trajectory of elevated horror. It was so big. That's why they made fun of it for Scream 5. He's the godfather of the new age horror. Jordan Peele was the first Black man to win Best Original Screenplay at the Oscar. Again, he made horror feel like it was a legitimate thing. Because then horror started to become more Oscar nominated afterwards. We had Demi Moore for Golden Globe nomination and won for Best Actress for The Substance. Horror was never taken seriously at these award shows prior to, or if so, it was seldom, because people just looked at horror as Hollywood cash grab, money slasher films, dumb, let's just make our money and run. Coogler built myth. Peele dismantled a lot of illusion. Like I said, we don't even know when Jordan Peele's fourth movie is coming out. We don't know nothing about the fourth movie. It was supposed to come out last year. They pushed it back, I think, to this year. Now I think, if I'm not mistaken, they might have pushed it back until next year. We know nothing about it, but we are still waiting with bated breath. Core fear versus core desire. Why the filmmaker can't stop making movies. For Ryan Coogler, his core fear, at least what reads from his filmography, is lost without legacy. Based off of the movies that we've discussed thus far in this video, Ryan Coogler seems to be haunted by death that feels unfinished, stories that gets erased, and Black men who are reduced to moments instead of myth. You see it in his characters like Oscar Grant, Adonis Creed, Killmonger, and Sammy, Smoke and Stack, Delta Slim, even T'Challa, and a hint of Ramonda. His core desire is to make Black life mean something beyond survival. I think that's why he makes characters like Annie, Perline, why Shuri is so youthful, Bianca and Marianne in Creed. To counteract the haunting of loss and legacy and death, he counteracts that with love. His films ask, who carries the torch? What can we leave behind? And how does love survive grief? Coogler doesn't fear death. He fears meaninglessness. Love is the only antidote. It's new life. Jordan Peele, based off of his movies, his core fear comes off as control disguised by comfort. Peele is obsessed with smiling systems, false safety, and power pretending to be benevolent. You see it in the Armitage Family, The Tethered, Jean Jacket, and just spectacle overall in itself. The core desire is to expose the trap before it closes. I think you can almost see it in Yoon's character, how he tries to control the spectacle before he becomes kind of swallow whole by it in Nope. Peele doesn't fear the monsters. He fears consent without awareness. It's almost like it's inevitable. So one builds memorials, the other pulls the mask off the statue. Coogler asks, who remembers us? And Peele asks, who's watching and why? So this isn't about who is better. It's about the kind of cinema that moves you. Do you want your chest to be cracked open, or do you want your mind rewired? You decide who wins this round. But that is all that I have for you today for Cinema Versus. Protect Black art and stream Black stories. And I will see you in the next round. And yes, there will be a next round. Thank you so much for being here. If you have made it thus far, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Please make sure to put your votes officially in the community tab. You can vote various different ways in this official battle. You can vote on Twitter, on X, on Blue Sky, Instagram, Lemonade. If you see me in person, you can send a carrier pigeon. Like, there are so many ways to send the official vote, but the voting begins now. Who won the battle for the auteurs of modern Black cinema? Or just modern cinema. I mean, they just so happen to be Black. But when you're racialized, I mean, we gotta talk about the Pink Pony Club in the room. Thank you so much again for making it this far into the video. If you have not clicked that subscribe button, baby, please join the Fambalam, because I promise you, I have matchups for weeks. I'm talking about whole weeks. I could tell you, but you just gonna have to, stick around and find out. But also join the Fambalam, because, baby, we're no longer just friends. We are family, like a giant tree, branching out toward the sky. I love you, and if nobody has told you this, you matter. And I love you not just because you like watch my videos and you hit that subscribe button, you like the bell, you hyped up the video, you did all the YouTuber things, but I love you because you're you and you do matter and your light is important too. So until I see you again, bye.